So Madison is ready to try the
macaroni method.
What she has here is an entire line, and it says, "He's peculiar enough, all right then," said Mr. Harrison. And it is from the book Anne of Avonlea on page 79. Here's the book, but you're not going to look it up just yet. Lay that book aside and put the quotation marks where they go using macaroni. Okay, so whatever you're thinking, think it out loud, Maddie. Okay, so why are you putting that there?
Because they're quotation marks. And
Okay.
they need to go there.
And why do quotation marks go around those particular words?
Because those are the ones he is saying.
Okay, and who was saying it?
Mr. Harrison.
Mr. Harrison. Okay, so we've got, there's some quotation marks before the first word in the sentence.
Fix that.
Yeah, they're usually actually lined up about like that. There's not one above the other. They're usually just side by side, because if you type this on a computer, they'd be side by side. Let's see where we put it over here. Okay. All right, how about you look up page 79 and find that dialogue, and let's see if you got this right. You are standing on the cord to the mic. Okay, thank you.
He's peculiar enough, all right then, said Mr. Harrison.
Does that look like the way you have it punctuated? Let's see it in the book. Okay, and where do the quotation marks come?
On top of it?
Nope, you can't. If you're typing this on a computer, there's no way to type quotation marks on top of a comma. Which is first, the comma or the quotation marks?
Ew.
Okay, here we go.
Well, I'm having some trouble here.
It's all right.
Have fun.
That's really small macaroni. I think when I did this in my classroom, the macaroni was
Bigger.
bigger. Yeah. Okay, so there we go. The comma comes first, and then the quotation marks. Good job with the macaroni method. Now, this might get messed up, so I want you to write this down on your tracking sheet here. Fill in the quotation marks exactly where they go. Okay, good. You've got the quotation marks coming after the comma. All right, let's try another. Maddie, what are you working on? The
Macaroni method.
Okay, and she's completed one line of dialogue from Anne of Avonlea, and we've got another line here from this book, The Magician's Elephant.
This looks like a good book. Can I read this after?
You may.
Yay.
All right, so this line says, "That she lives," said Peter. That she lives. Okay. Take your macaroni and punctuate that dialogue.
Okay. Oops.
You might want to make sure that, I mean, you're putting it in the right place, but it's usually, if you were typing it, it would be at the same height. There you go, just like that. All right. That's really interesting based on what you did on the other one. Let's look up here, Maddie. Look up here at how you've got this on this one. You've got comma, quotation marks, said. What do you want to do here? Okay, and again, they're side by side. They're not hanging all over the place. They're like that. Okay, can you make them look more uniform? Good job. Okay, page 23 and The Magician's Elephant. See how you did it.
That she lives, said Peter. That she lives.
Okay, does your dialogue look like the book?
Yes.
Great. And what was it that we called this part again? The said Peter. What is that called?
The tag.
Okay, so mark on your tracking sheet, so in case this gets messed up, you've got it. exactly where the quotation marks go. Okay, great. Let's do the next one.
Okay.
Okay, Maddie, you are working on the
Macaroni method.
and we are going to work on this third practice with a line from this book here, On the Banks of Plum Creek. And this says, "What is her name?" Mary asked. And it's from page 43 in that book. Okay, you are anxious to get the
Yep.
get the quotation marks on there. All right, now let's look at page 43 and see what we got.
What is her name, Mary asked.
Okay, so what did you do? I saw you move something.
I moved those because in the book it shows them right there, but I put them right there.
Okay, so it's just like a comma, right? It comes inside the quotation marks. Okay? All right, very good. Ready to do the last one?
Yep.
Okay, now we have an example from the book.
Twister on Tuesday.
Yay. And why don't you read this line here for us?
Sit with Jeb, then, said Mrs. Nellie. And Annie, you sit with Kate and her brother Will.
Okay, so where do the quotation marks go?
Okay.
You can pick out the tag right away, right? What's the tag in this?
Said Mrs. Nellie.
Said Miss Neely.
Neely, I was going to say that.
Okay, so you're putting the quotation marks. Ooh, you're putting them outside or after the comma. Good idea. You learned that on the other ones, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, yeah, her sentence is actually split up with the tag. Notice there's no capital. Whoops, wait a minute. And Anne, you sit with Kate and her brother Will. Ooh. Is there another tag there? Said Miss Neely. And Anne, you sit with Kate and her brother Will.
Can't fit them. I'm just gonna.
Okay, page 26 and Twister on Tuesday.
26 of. Sit with Jeb then, said Mrs. Neely, and Annie, you sit with Kate and her brother Will.
Got a lot going on here, don't you?
Yes.
So, Miss Neely actually said, sit with Jeb then, and Anne, sit with Kate and her brother Will. So, you had way too many quotation marks in there.
Yes, I
but you
did.
know what? I think I know why you put all those extra quotation marks in there. Because you thought whenever you saw a comma, that's when you were supposed to put a quotation mark, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now you found out you don't have to do that, do you?
Mm-hmm.
So, you are marking it in on your tracking sheet. Okay. Now, you have done a lot of work here,
Yes.
and I think you've learned a couple things, right?
Yep.
I am going to ask you to, I'm going to turn off the camera, and I'm going to ask you to write down 3 things you learned about writing dialogue on the back of your tracking sheet, and then we'll come back and see what you wrote. Now we're going to find out what Madison learned from practicing the macaroni method with quotation marks. What did you write on the back of your tracking sheet?
Quotation marks go before and after what the character says.
Good.
Comma goes before quotation marks. No quotation marks around the tags.
Good. Now also, I think that you want to remember, you say the comma goes before the quotation marks at the end of some dialogue, right? But also, if there's an exclamation point or a question mark, that goes before the quotation marks too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Great. Are you ready to move on to the next practice method?
Yep.
We are going to try the Norman Rockwell method. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Maybe you've learned a little bit more about how to write and punctuate dialogue, or perhaps you're a teacher watching this and you've learned a couple of tips for how to help your students write more correct dialogue and maybe take a shot at writing some more sophisticated dialogue. If the video was helpful to you, please consider subscribing and clicking on the notification bell so that you can get notified each time we upload a new video.
If you also like this video, make sure you leave a thumbs up, comment down below, and tell your friends.
Because we want you to
Never stop learning.
Yeah.
Cut!
Yeesh.
Make sure to tell your friends.